Good afternoon, and this is my training tutorial on the Allen Bradley MicroLogix 1100. This is the first of the two presentations. The second will cover wiring, inputs and output devices, and how to interpret wiring diagrams. So let's get started here. The first thing that I want to cover is using a serial device, a USB to serial device to connect to a PLC. So let's start. First of all, we got Windows 10 here, and Windows 10 is not so much friendly with the automation software, so we have a virtual machine on this computer also. But let's start here. Let's go to the device manager, and let's take a look at our ports. Now, I do have the prolific USB to serial COM port already plugged into this computer. It's a TrendNet device. For time purposes, if you have more questions about this or where to get it, I can answer those. But let's look here and see that it's connected to our host machine on COM port 3. Let's now go to our virtual machine, which here's the desktop icon. Here it is in the taskbar. Let's go ahead and click. So here is another computer running on this computer. So let's go up to the settings here on the player to removable devices. And let's grab this prolific USB to serial converter here. Okay, and say yes. Let's plug this in. So now we should go here, look in Device Manager to see if it's connected. And it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up RSLinks. This is the communication software to talk to a PLC, and let's configure a driver so that we can see the device I have here at home. We need to do an RS-232 DF1. Add this. Keep the name the same. Let's go to COM3 because that's where our device is connected. Auto configure. Successful. Okay, let's close this down and let's take a look here, and we'll see here is our device. Okay. So that's one method. Let's go ahead and try the Ethernet method. So let's go back to our host machine and do Control Panel to look at our settings for our Ethernet adapter. So we go to Network and Internet, Network and Sharing, change adapter settings, Ethernet. Let's look at the properties, and let's look at the Internet Protocol version 4. Properties. And you can see here when you use a local area network, you want to make sure and set a device address for your computer and then set one up in your PLC. So here I have decided to use 192.168.20.19 with 3 255s and 1 0 for the subnet. Okay, let's go back to the virtual machine. Let's take a look at the settings. And our network adapter is bridged. Replace the physical network. Our adapters is the Realtek PCI GB family controller. Okay, so let's go down to the control panel here, and we have to have another IP address that's on the same network. Can't be the same. Different addresses. Network Internet, Network and Sharing, change adapters, local area network connection, properties, Internet Protocol version 4. Okay, and here is, if you notice, the last octet is 20. On the host machine, it was 19. Okay, so those have to be different. Okay, so it looks like we're set up to configure here. So I do have a PLC plugged in through the Ethernet from my computer into the Ethernet port. So in order to give that an IP address, we need to go down to the Rockwell software, all programs, Rockwell software, boot P. Now this is how we put an address into a automation device. Click OK. Alright, so this is the network we're on. Click OK. Let's do File, New. Let's do Tools, Network Settings. This looks good. Go ahead and click OK. And our device should pop up here shortly. There it is. This is the MAC address given to this device at the factory. So let's do add relation. Oop, had a mistake there. Let's go ahead and highlight this, add to the relation list. This will work here. Let's go ahead and put an address in, 192.168.20.33. Okay. So let's come down here. Now that we put an address in, let's disable the boot P. Successful. Okay, let's go ahead and minimize this. Open up our RS links. Come back and make an Ethernet type adapter. Ethernet IP driver. Add new. Keep the name the same. This is the network that we're on. We're going to click apply. Okay. Let's come down here and take a look. And there we have it. So now we have two methods to get into this PLC. Now let's go down quickly and look at a PLC program. I've already made one. This is MicroLogix 500. Let's take a look at Liberty Education 730.rss file. Okay, and a brief description here. So this is just a basic PLC program that a switch turns on a motor. Once the motor's on, we have some timers to simulate some relays that will toggle on and off. Here's our input files, output files. This is a hardware input address, a hardware output address. Okay, so this is kind of geared towards people that are in the electrical world. So if there are any questions, please contact me at mpleader@liberty.edu, and we can go further with more detail. So let's take a look at using one of those drivers we created to download this program and see it function. So we'll go to comms, system comms. Now let's go ahead and do our serial driver here. Okay, this is the one we created. Here's our PLC. Now we're going to take this program and we're going to download it. Click OK. Are you sure you want to proceed? Yes. Processor is in remote run. Let's be switched to program. Click yes. Now you're going to see that the communication is going to change, and that is fine. Let's just apply. Let's go to run. Yes, we want to go online. Now you'll see that we're actually functioning here and the ladder's spinning. So if you'll look here, I already have everything wired. In the next presentation, we will cover wiring. So let's turn the motor starter on. Okay. You see the timer's working, the relay's toggling on and off, and we have a functional program here. Okay, so for the next tutorial, we will cover how to read wiring, how to wire these devices, and a brief explanation. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you on the next one.